Hey everybody, it's Jamie here and a very warm welcome to your To Travel blog, Jamie.
In cruise news this week, there's been a big hoo-ha online about an alleged leaked document from P&O Cruise Lines that circulated the web faster than a hen party around a handbag, relating specifically to the alcohol drinks policy. Now then, P&O has been one of the few cruise lines that has allowed passengers to take specified maximum amount of alcohol on board their ships at your departure point for consumption in cabins. And yes, over the years, I've happily enjoyed a cheeky little or large vodka in my cabin whilst getting ready for the evening, as some of you will be aware. Up until just yesterday, the 7th of May 2024, each adult was permitted to bring on board a 1 litre bottle of alcohol each for in-cabin use only, be it wine, bubbles, beer or spirits, etc. But according to the P&O website, this is now all change as from Tuesday the 7th of May across their fleet. With a leaked document being circulated online, I have been inundated with messages from people wanting to know what was going on and if I had any inside info to share, as if. As I always say, ignore the speculation and wait for official word. And lo and behold, here are the new regulations and official word from P&O Cruise Lines as to why they have made this change, plus my thoughts on this new policy. You'll find official word from P&O on their website under the section Code of Conduct, ensuring your time on board feels special, which could be considered by some a contradiction in terms about this new policy. P&O have recognised responsible drinking being a valued and enjoyable part of a cruise for some passengers, and that their policy for the responsible consumption of alcohol is adhered to at all times, reserving the right to deny access to the ship anyone who appears heavily under the influence of alcohol. The irony when you consider the introduction of drinks packages, or what I witnessed on Arcadia last week, definitely some screaming, chanting and falling over, never going challenge. No, it didn't affect me personally, but it's not in line with this policy either. Let's just not go there. It's a minefield, my darlings. Essentially, alcohol purchases on board means money for cruise lines, no matter what their alcohol policy, and they are a business with the intent of making money, of course. The new policy states that each guest 18 years and older, 21 years in ports of the United States of America, may bring up to 1 litre of wine or champagne on board as they embark the ship for the first time only. I assume this includes sparkling wine, prosecco and the like. Any wine or bubbles over 1 litre will be stored and returned to the guest at the end of the cruise. If this alcohol is consumed in the dining rooms, bars, restaurants or lounges, it will be subject to a £20 corkage fee per bottle per occasion, meaning I assume if you don't drink the whole bottle the first time, you'll be charged another £20 corkage fee, and this charged to a guest onboard account. Now this part is super important and the main change to the policy. Other alcohol types such as spirits are considered restricted items and are prohibited to bring on board when guests first embark the ship. Any alcoholic beverages purchased mid-cruise in ports of call cannot be consumed on board. Guests will have to declare and hand over any alcohol bought in port and on the gangway, which will be stored and returned to the guest at the end of the cruise at no charge. If a bottle of wine or champagne has been bought for a guest through P&O Cruises Gifts, guests will need to ensure they carry the gift card with them to avoid having a corkage charge applied to their onboard account. On eligible cruises, guests are, of course, welcome to purchase duty-free alcohol in the onboard shops, which will be stored until the end of the cruise. Guests will still be able to purchase drinks from the in-cabin drinks menu and have these delivered to their cabins. These can be consumed in cabins, so essentially you'll pay more for these in-cabin drink services, and the money of course goes straight to P&O Cruise Line. A reminder as well that it is prohibited to attempt to purchase alcohol for those under 18 whilst on board, although 17 and 16-year-olds may be bought a modest amount of beer, cider or wine to drink with a meal in the restaurants when accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. So why the change to policy? P&O quite simply state that they have reviewed their alcohol policy and decided to align with the cruise industry to adhere to HESS guidelines around responsibility to serve alcohol. HESS stands for Health, Environment, Safety and Security, an internal charter signed by the whole Carnival brand. It isn't an external recommendation. I would argue the main reason for the change has little to do with HESS guidelines and more to do with maximising financial gain. Lastly, these changes came into place on Tuesday the 7th of May 2024. Because of the change to this policy, you decide you wish to cancel your cruise, this will be under the usual standard terms and conditions. This means no allowances made to you, of course. Of note, there is no change to the policy about being able to bring soft drinks on board, yet. Maybe this will be another move another time. My personal reflections are that it has always surprised me that P&O have allowed guests to bring on board alcohol. It is certainly in the minority of the cruise industry in allowing this. It did make P&O more unique, of course, and stand out from the crowd, but with the erosion of the P&O brand I had been used to in cruising, P&O are of course marketing themselves differently now and successfully by all accounts to a new audience who would not have been aware of changes to various policies over the years and some of the cutbacks put in place slowly but surely. These are undeniable changes, but I am no longer the target audience for P&O, and I recognise change does happen for huge companies like this to not just stay afloat but to evolve and flourish. Will I miss my cheeky vodka in my cabin? Well, a little bit, but I can still enjoy wine or fizz. It's not the end of the world for me, and I do actually understand the decision whether I like it or not. I maintain, in spite of changes over the years, P&O Cruises still offer some very good value cruises. My main concluding comment would be these changes all add up over time. Things are definitely different now, and the choice is ours to make. The cruise competition is fierce, and I enjoy a range of cruise lines these days for different reasons. I am not loyal to one brand, and my recommendation, as always, is to broaden those horizons. But what are your thoughts on this policy change? Do you agree, disagree, get it, not get it? Drop those comments below, please. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Any opinions either way? Let's be having them. Thank you for your continued support as we near 27,000 subscribers. Today's shoutouts go to my tiers 3, 4 and 5 patrons. You can become a patron by searching patreon.com/travelblogjamie. We can also follow each other on Facebook, Jamie W. Robbins, not to mention X, Threads and Instagram at travelblogjamie, and of course right here, right now on YouTube.